I started this before, so you don't know what I'm doing, but I'm giving myself a facial. I really need a facial. Haven't done anything to my face since I had that cancer in my on my face. So if you'll excuse me, I got it started already, and I'm going to just have to start all over. But I'm going to talk about my cruises to Hawaii. We've done 3 cruises to Hawaii: uh, 2004, 2006, and 2016. The first 2 were on the Spirit. They were out of we left Los Angeles, and this is unique, which I don't sell it anymore, and I don't necessarily push anything because I use everything that I see on TikTok and every place else. But this does work really good. I just need something because my skin is so dry. Anyway, the Spirit class is a really good class. It's big enough to have a good time and have a lot of things to do, but small enough that there's only like 1,900 passengers. So, when you get into these other big ships like I'm going on next week, there's like 6,000 passengers on that. So anyway, the first 2 that we took were on the Spirit, and that's the Spirit class. That was the first of them. And when we got to Los Angeles, I'm not going to get into my stitches here because I still have some stitches. We got on buses, and we were bused to Ensenada. The reason why is ships cannot leave an American port and go to another American port and then come back to an American port. They have to go to a foreign port. So therefore we had to go to Mexico, then to go to Hawaii, because Hawaii is America. Okay. And it was a beautiful drive. We went all along the Pacific, and we saw people building houses, and just the ocean was just so beautiful. I've got a lot of bags and wrinkles, and so I want to get rid of all that. I've got all kinds of junk on my counter because I'm going on that cruise next week, and I've got everything pulled out. So anyway, if this is not too distracting, I can tell you some more about Hawaii. So we got on the ship, went to Ensenada, and then we started crossing the ocean. It was so beautiful. In Ensenada, they had all kinds of seals and sea lions, and they just barked, and we left at night. It was beautiful. And we sailed for 6 days, I think, 6 or 7 days. And we got to, I believe we went to Honolulu first. And Honolulu is beautiful. It's a goddess city, but of all the islands, it's probably not it's probably the least beautiful because it's so commercial, and it's a city. I love this city. But it was just so exciting. So we got to Honolulu, and of course we had to go to the Navy Yard. We had to go see all that. Pearl Harbor. I mean, it really gets to you. And something that a lot of people don't know is Pearl Harbor used to just be the ships that were sunk, and people would go there. But when Elvis Presley came into being popular, he went there, and he was really upset that they didn't have anything there. So he built, or started the building and got funds to build that beautiful white monument to all the soldiers, all the sailors that were killed, and also everybody during the war. It was a terrible war. I was born right after it was over. Anyway, so then in Honolulu, you have a lot of choice of places to go. You do different things. I'm trying to think now. I've been there 3 times, and we just did wonderful things. But we did Pearl Harbor, and that's almost a day long. And I think we did Pearl Harbor twice. And then we rented a car one time when we took up my granddaughter. We wanted to go to the North Shore. So it was beautiful. Of course, we got a convertible, but then we had to put the top up because I guess it was irritating everybody, having their hair flying all over. But we got on, I think, that Highway 1 and Highway 2. And we tried to get to the North Shore. It's a big island, but we decided to stop at Dole and take the tour there. And it was a wonderful tour, but we didn't get to the North Shore. My husband wanted to see the North Shore because, all the surfers there, they have the really big waves. So anyway, after the North Shore, after Pearl Harbor, we went to the Big Island. That's Hawaii. And I think that's, facing Oahu, it's to the left, and then all the other ones are to the right. And that was very diverse. You go 2 days. You go one day to one side, the south side, the other side is the second day. And the first day, we went into the mountains, and that was just exciting because we went up into snow, and of course this was like April. And April's a good time to go. The one that we took in January, we didn't see that many flowers, but the whole island's all flowers. I got upset because everybody got leis and it had all these flowers, and I kept thinking, oh, they're wasting all the flowers, but there's just so many. Anyway, so we went up and we saw the telescopes. They have telescopes from all the major countries in the world, and it's just amazing. It's like 13,500 feet up in the air, and the air is really thin. At the time, let's see, 2004, and this is 24, 58. So I could breathe better. I don't know if I'd want to do that now, but there's so many other things to do. So we did all that tour. The next day we were at the other end of the Big Island, and that one we did snorkeling where Captain Cook landed, and that was really neat. We saw a lot of neat. In fact, I was snorkeling, and I was down there, and we had a guide, and he kept going like this, like go up. So we went up, and he said that was a barracuda right under me, and I guess they're not very friendly, but he didn't hurt me. So that was 3 different days. And then we went to, I'm going to have to really think because it's been a while, but Kauai, that's where they film, if I'm not mistaken, Kauai is where they film like Jurassic Park. And we had to take a bus. We went to Honolulu, the land of Honolulu, Puff the Magic Dragon. They may take me off this for that, but that was a really neat ride, and we got to Honolulu, and believe me, if I just wanted to go there and stay one place, since I've seen all the tourist spots, I think I would go there and get a cottage and stay there. It was just so beautiful and so quiet and lovely. And now I'm trying to think of where else we went. We went to another island. I'm trying to think of it. I might think of it before I finish this. And we took a helicopter, and it goes over parts of Hawaii that no human has ever been because they're all like jaggedy. It's from volcanoes, so they're not smooth mountains like you see here. They're all jaggedy, and they'll cut your feet. And so we took a helicopter over that, and that was just beautiful. I've got videos of all that, but I just can't tell you how exciting it is to go to Hawaii. And 2 years later, my friend was wanting to go to Hawaii, and she was taking her friend, and my friend had just become a widow, and I kind of thought they had never even cruised before, and I was afraid that they would not be able to catch on real quick because they were both kind of involved in other things. So we were supposed to go to Europe, And we changed. I said, would you like us to go to Hawaii with you? And she said yes. So they had their own cabin, but we went to Hawaii again and did the same thing, on the same ship. But it was so well worth it, and we did different things each time. And we didn't go around with them that much. We did rent a car. Oh, and we went to, that's it, Maui. How can I forget Maui? Maui's right next to Oahu, and then it goes to Kauai. But Maui, that's where we rented a car, and we went to, on the other end, everybody talks about going to Hana. We took the road to Hana, and every time I go there, and it's been 3 times, I don't think you can find a place on earth that is, to my way of thinking, and probably to your way of thinking, of what heaven would be. It was just breathtaking. When I think about it now, my heart just beats. Hana, the road to Hana. You can go through pastures, and you have mountains on one side, and you have the ocean down below. You go through, there's just only one road. And when you rent that car, you're only supposed to go up to a certain point, but we went the whole way around. And you go around like a little mountain, and you'd hear beep, beep, and it'll be a bus coming, because they have license to do that. But, when you rent a car, you're not supposed to. But there was only room for one vehicle, because you go off the cliff, and it's the ocean down there, and it's a long way down. But so it got a little scary, but everybody always beeps, and I always gave them the right of way. And oh gosh, I'm just thinking of so many things. One time we rented golf carts, and we went to this farmer's. He had a big farm. It's supposed to be one of the biggest farms in the United States. And they'd open up the gates, and we'd go in there, and bulls are in there, and cows, and these bulls are trying to protect their cows, and they come after you, and you really have to hit that. And I was going pretty fast. That was fun. Let's see, what else did we do? I don't know, we rented cars a lot. It's just a wonderful vacation. And the first 2 times it was 12 days or 13 days, and that's where you fly to California, and you take the ship to Honolulu, and then it brings you back to California, and then you get on no, it doesn't bring you back to California. You take the flight from Honolulu. That is a long flight. You leave at night about 6 o'clock, and we flew straight from Honolulu all the way to Atlanta. And I was ready to sleep. We didn't get in till in the morning. But it's kind of neat, because the whole time you're flying, you're seeing the sunset, and it sets for hours, because we're just flying the same speed just about. I'm sure you're not going as fast as the sun, but for a long time you're seeing the sun set. And then the 3rd time, when we took Chrissy, we flew to Los Angeles, and we went the ship was at Long Beach, so we took a bus there, and we spent the night on the Queen Mary, which that was so exciting, because that ship was like in the 20s and 30s, and all these famous people, kings and queens, and Lady Diana was on there, and all the old actors and actresses. And they have a tour late at night, but we were so tired we didn't take the tour, and it was supposed to be ghosts and everything. But we stayed in these old cabins, and they had old-timey fixtures, and the walls were really thin. Actually, this sweet lady you're talking to got into a little bit of a arguing match with people next to us that were making all kinds of noise at around 2 o'clock at night. And they cussed at me, and I cussed back. I'm sorry. I told you I wasn't that nice. Anyway, my granddaughter could probably tell you a lot of things. But we had just a wonderful time. That was her gift for graduation. I told my grandchildren that I would take them any place they wanted to go for graduation. And she chose Hawaii. And Chase, who graduated 2 years later, chose New York City because he said that was on his bucket list. But they had given me their information 4 years earlier, and at the time I was thinking, boy, I'm getting old, so I told Chase that I would have to take him to New York City a little early because I knew there was a lot of walking there. I'd been to New York City. I used to live in New York. Not New York City, but lived in Syracuse. But I'd been to New York several times, and I knew that was going to be a walk-in city. And the hop-on, hop-off bus. But anyway, so the one that I took with Chrissy, that was 15 days because you fly from Alabama or whatever state you're in and go to Los Angeles, and then you go to Long Beach, get on the ship, go all the way over to Hawaii, go around to all the islands, then you come back. And I loved it. My husband thought it was too long, and I think Chrissy kind of thought it was too long, but she was out of school, so she didn't care. But there's all kinds of things to do on the ship because they don't keep you bored. They have classes, and you think, oh, that doesn't sound interesting. Very interesting classes, and then they get a pin. And so if every day you go to class, you get a pin, and there are discussions about like Hawaii, and discussions about maybe cruising, and maybe stars. It's just different things, and I really enjoyed that. And they're only like about an hour long, but they had different foods that you don't have on the 7 and 8 day cruises. They had a lot of movies. They had a lot of musicals, a lot of entertainment, a lot of comedy. So, I just don't see how people wouldn't like being on a ship unless they really truly are scared to death of the water. But when we crossed to go to Europe, we were in a double storm in April, and I mean that ship was going like this. We had 30-foot waves, and I never got scared. We went to the showroom, and the bar that's in the back of the showroom, all the bottles fell over, and we turned around, and the guy was just went like, what am I going to do about it? We'd go to the store. Everything in the store, they sell these big glass figurines and things. All that broke. When you go to the store, they couldn't let you in because it was all over the floor. But I remember my husband needed a razor, so I said, can we buy a razor? And so he just walked crunch, crunch, crunch to the glass, and he came back with a razor. So, and didn't charge us anything. They couldn't run it because they couldn't even get to the cash register. But I've just had a lot of cruises. I've had 47. I'm about to go on my 48th. Okay, and you want to know prices? I know the first 2 times to Hawaii were less than $1,000, but that was in 2004 and 2006. Now you have to add on your flight, which it wasn't that bad back then. I think when we took Chrissy, that was 3 of us, and we went 15 days rather than 12, and we flew all the way back and forth. No, we didn't fly all the way back and forth. We just flew to California and back. But we did a lot of expensive things, like I think we did the helicopter. No, we didn't do the helicopter. We just did a lot of things. But that was in 2018. So I have to say that one did cost $10,000 for 3 of us, but that was for 15 days. And I was working, and I always put aside half of my salary to go on vacations and pay for my car payment. So, I had planned for it, but it truly was worth it. But, if that would be too much for you, I would definitely do the shorter one. You still see everything in Hawaii. You just don't have that, sea time. Now, I love the sea time. My husband, he doesn't really care that much about the sea days. But he doesn't really care much about cruising anymore. But he's been on like maybe 35 of them. And he said he's done. But he's not in real good health, too. And he had to take a scooter one time, and he didn't enjoy that. He's 6'5", and he just he didn't enjoy that part of it, but I think it's just a personal thing about that. Anyway, I'm going to wash this stuff off, and I'm glad that you watched. If you watched this long, that's great. If you didn't, I can understand, because I can be boring. And if somebody just looks at this picture and doesn't know what's going on, they're going to wonder, what the heck am I doing? Am I going to Halloween? But this does make your skin look really good. The next video you look at, I'm just going to be beautiful. That's not going to happen. These look kind of silly too. But thank you for watching, and I really appreciate all the people that have looked at me and that have followed me. And it's just exciting for me, because I'm almost 80 and I don't have a lot of thrills anymore. It's thrilling to be alive and breathing, and I do appreciate being alive, but sometimes I just get a little lonesome and a little bored. So thank you for watching. Love you. Bye-bye.